All right, welcome back to the channel, you guys. Today we have a little bit different style video. I wouldn't call it a how-to, but it is a how-to, but it's my first time doing it, so I'm not really sure if it's a how-to because I'm learning with you guys as well. As you can tell from the title, we are doing a ABS delete today, and yeah. Now, most people don't need to delete their ABS. It is very helpful if you do street ride a lot, but for me, this is becoming my race track bike only now. So for performance purposes, for weight purposes, I am going to be getting rid of my ABS module. So yeah, this is my 2023 Yamaha R1. I am pretty sure it is going to be the same procedure for 2020 through 24. I'm not too sure about 2015 to current. It's probably the same, probably some small differences, but this is specifically for 2020 to 2024. The ABS module is going to be deleted, so we will have to get my little plug that is going to go and connect to the harness to trick the PCM to thinking that the ABS module is still connected, so you can keep your traction control, keep your slide control, and just keep all of your check engine lights from coming on, keeping it from going into limp mode. Along with that plug, you will need a different set of brake lines, which we have right here. I do have some Core Moto brake lines that I did get custom fitted for this bike. I did opt with the black lines with the white tag and the black banjo. I did get these from my buddy Jesus at Daredevil Motorsports. I will put his link down in the bottom. He also hooked it up with these fork mounts. So instead of just zip tying the lines straight to your fork tubes, you can put these on there first and then they just snap in. So it just gives you a cleaner look, no scratching on the forks. So yeah, I appreciate him for that. If you guys do want this whole setup, hit him up. Really cool guy, get all the stuff that you need. So as you can tell, the bike is already pretty pulled apart. I wasn't even gonna make a video about this, but I figured since I'm already here, I really haven't seen a bunch of videos on it, so I might as well just do a step-by-step along with you guys. It is gonna be pretty straightforward. You are literally just taking off all of the brake lines from factory, the module, all of the hard lines, the one that goes underneath the air box into the front up here, to right here, to the caliper lines. So it's pretty straightforward. You just need some basic hand tools. Let's get into it. So first thing first, before dealing with any electrical components, always make sure to disconnect your battery. I did just pull my battery completely out. So the first step will be to be unplugging the ABS module plug right here. There's a little tab behind here. If you just push down on it, this little mechanism right here will fold back, allowing you to release the cable. All right, so now that your ABS module is disconnected, we will be going and undoing all of the lines. Make sure to get like a little bucket or something just to catch all of the brake fluid, because all the fluid that's in these lines in your master will all be dripping everywhere, and you do not want this stuff all over the floor. So to make it easier on yourself, just get like a little bucket or something just to catch everything. All right, so I'm sure that there's a bunch of different steps that you can go in. You do not need to follow my steps step by step, but you can. So the first thing, we are going to disconnect this little hook right here, and then we have to go to inside the swing arm and then disconnect this hex bolt right here to release the cable from its bracket. All right, just pull it off, set it to the side. Make sure to not lose any of your hardware or any of your brackets. That is not a cheap idea. All right, so next we are going to disconnect the rear caliper banjo bolt. Again, I do have my little bucket right here for all of the brake fluid. So let's pop that off. All right, and as you can see, it is gonna start dripping. Let's get the bolt out. And just let it drain. I'm just gonna leave this on the towel right here and work on the rest of the bike. All right, next we will be on the rear brake caliper. So the same procedure, let's just pop this loose. Unbolt it just like this. You are gonna have your brake fluid spilling out, or you should at least. Should I get that off the edge? All right, so now both of your rear brake lines are disconnected. So next we will be going up to the inside, and then you're gonna have these two hex bolts right here that go to the bottom right here that hold on the bracket for the rear lines. So before taking off these two, I am going to disconnect these two lines that go up to the front of the bike. Crack those loose. Make sure your drain bucket is underneath. Probably a good idea to have a towel so it's not dripping like how it is right now. Cool. Those are out the way. It is gonna drip. There's a lot of fluid in this area, but we can go to these now. Make sure to catch these washers that come off of those hard lines, just so it doesn't fall down into the frame somewhere, or just make it easier on yourself. Let's move these wheel speed sensor lines out of the way, and yeah, we're making progress. These are off. It is loose at the bottom now too. All right, so now that this is all apart, there are two bolts right here, and then I believe the one that's right here under the tail is connected to it as well. I'm not 100% sure, but it's getting taken off, so we're gonna see if it's related to it or not. That one is kind of tight over there because the harness is in the way, so it'll hold the bolt for you as you pull it out, hopefully. Yeah, it's kind of tight. But all right, those who are out, plus, okay, the washer fell, but the washer is down there. And then these two lines are held in by a little plastic clip that go on that bracket as well. So let's pop that off. I don't have any trim tools, so do not judge me. It worked, so we're good. All right, now right under the tail, I am going to disconnect these two right here, these two hard lines that go into this block. Now, normally you use a brake line wrench. It is shaped a little bit different just so like you don't round off these hard lines. But since they are coming off, I really don't care if I damage them or not. All right, so now that those are all disconnected. Okay, so this 10 mil underneath here is holding it, so you do have to loosen that. And then there are two push pins right here. They go through the undertail into the plastic tray. And then when you get back up here, this harness is held in on the bracket. As you can see, these little tabs right here. Peel off these clips. And then just pull up on that like so. And then the harness should be coming out of the way. So once this harness is off, your ground right here, you will need to disconnect this. Okay, make sure not to lose this bolt. All right, so once that's off, you can pull. You should be able to pull the tray out. Let me work this tray out, and then I'll get back with you guys. All right, so with a little bit of finessing and wiggling, your ABS module is out. Now you have this big open room for activities. So what I'm going to do is, I disconnected the ABS module from the bracket itself. Because there's this big open space and all of these wires went through this bracket, I am going to just put the bracket back inside, bolt it back down so all of the factory harnesses have their set place. And I don't have this big open gap right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this, clean it up first, and then just bolt it back inside there. All right, so bracket is back in. We have all of this room now. Again, just waiting on my plug. So from this point on, it is just going to be all the front lines. So we are going to start off with removing these two bolts right here to release this bracket to get to our front lines. So I believe that these are 8s, so let's pull them off. All right, so once this one is released, it is loose, as you can see. And then if you follow this line, you will see you have another one right here. You can see it through the frame right here. So loosen up this 8 and just work your way down. All right, so we got this line off, this lower line off right here. Now we're gonna work our way up across the frame into, I can't even get it inside here, but you got this this little T section right here. I do apologize, it is kind of tight getting inside of here, but there's gonna be two hard lines, this one right here, and then there is one right directly behind it. So we're gonna pop both of those off, and then it should lower down this T section, and then allow us to pull out the hard lines from where the seat is at. All right, I did find it a little bit easier, which I should have thought of, but the front wheel fender, take that off, you just get a little bit more room to access everything else. But anyway, we took off those two bolts. We separated one. On my way to separate the other one right here, if it'll focus, but it won't. Okay. And then once you get off those, you have a little hex bolt right here, and then you can disconnect the master cylinder, and then this line should come out, and then the two lines that go to each of the calipers will drop down as well. And then the soft lines, the soft hoses will be out, and then we can bend those up, and then we can pull out the hard lines from the back. All right, boom. Left and right caliper is now released. We can move this to the side right after we, hold on, put you guys down for a second. All right, we move this over. All right, then there we go. Both calipers. The one last bolt right there, and then the master, and then we can pull off the very last line. right there. I know I don't have a hex. I forgot to bring one for this side, so don't flame me. Torx hex, it'll work. All right, now we can maneuver this thing out. And nope. All right, she's out. And boom. Excuse the mess, I have a mess everywhere. But now that all the lines are all off, all the hoses are all off, the module is out, time to put on the ABS Delete lines. So just gonna run the rear to right there. Each caliper is gonna get their own line, and then it's gonna tee up to the master cylinder. So a cool thing about these Core Moto lines, if it can focus, come on, focus, is that you can change the position of this banjo. So if you wrap it around like this, it says to use a pin, but I just use a 1/4" extension. You can put it inside here, hold it, and then you can turn it to whatever desired position that you like. All right, so these do come labeled to tell you which side is which. The label, for our case, we get a flat side, and then the other side is kind of bent. So we are going to put the flat side against the rear caliper. Jeez. And then this bent side on the rear master cylinder. So it does come with 4 new banjo bolts and washers. These are going to be for the calipers, and then this one right here, the only separate one, is going to be for your master cylinder. Flat side is going to go on the rear caliper. We're going to put the bolt and then one washer on one side, and then a washer on the other side. Okay, now you don't have to, but I want to make sure that the label is legible and is facing the right way. So let's just set it down like this. And then we can just hand thread it in for now. Okay, that's one side. All right, so now that that is all on, we can go ahead and feed it back through its original clip right here. And if you want to, you can feed it back and hook it back on here as well. And you can go ahead and tighten those. So that completes the rear for now. We still have to tighten all those banjo bolts, crush the washers, and then just bleed the system. And then now let's move on to the front. We're gonna start off by putting those fork brackets on here first. We are gonna measure where they're gonna go by just placing the brake lines, just dry fitting them first, so we can get a rough idea onto where the brackets go. All right, so all 3 brackets are right here. One of them is centered. No, 2 of them are centered. One of them is at this little angle. And then you have 3 separate, you see, they even come separate, 3 separate double sticky side tape to go on the back of each bracket before you put it onto the fork. So just like the rears, the fronts are also labeled. So it says left caliper, right caliper. So obviously the left will be from sitting on the bike, your left hand, your clutch hand, that is your left caliper. So we're going to just fit it up real quick. Let's go behind. I think I want to feed these behind. All right, so I mounted the calipers. I routed them this way. You don't have to route them this way. This is just how I found it, I guess, to be the easiest. The first little bracket goes right here. That's how you set them up. The second one I put right here, the one that has the angle, I put it up here. And that bolt is already tight. And then I ran the last one behind this fork to right there. So those are all tightened up. I just gotta bleed the brakes and then put everything back on. Oops. And then same with this one. Ran this one right here. It's all tight, it's all tight. All the lines are secured at this time. Just gotta plug in the module, bleed the brakes, and we should be good to go. We'll try it out. So as you guys can tell, I do have the bike all back together now. Now this step, we're just gonna be plugging in our ABS Delete module and then bleeding our brakes, and then we should be good. So this is the next day. I was waiting for my ABS Delete module. I went with the L2M. Let's open her up. All right, this is better. So we got the L2M. I think I got it from Super Bikes Unlimited or Sports Bikes Unlimited, something like that. But so we have that, and then this is all it is. If I can get it out, it is just this delete plug that is going to go into your ABS module harness. So this is going to be my first step. So let's just plug it in, hook the battery back up, and then just see if we have any dash lights on. All right, so here's your harness. We're gonna plug her in like this. Close that little tab back, if I can even see what I'm doing. All right, then that's pretty much all it is. It's plugged in. You can zip tie it if you want to. I probably should, but I'm not going to. And then let's just hook the battery back up, and then let's turn her on. All right, let's go ahead and turn her on. So far we have no check engine light, no ABS light. So unfortunately right now I cannot ride it due to my rear wheel bearings are blown out, and then because of that, it has made my wheel speed sensor touch the tone ring right here, damaging it. So, but I can still turn it on and see if we can. Good. So now the last and final step, just to bleed your brakes. I'm going to be using some Brembo fluid, and then the test ride, and then you'll be all good to go with no more ABS. So that's pretty much going to be it. I'm just going to go ahead and bleed these brakes. You guys should pretty much know how to bleed brakes if you're going to be doing all of this. I hope this video helped. I'm not the best at explaining how to do things. I can just do them. but yeah, if you guys did enjoy it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.